Hello, Melissa. Thank you so much for helping me today model this pre and post conference. I really appreciate it. Everyone, this is Melissa March. She's a super talented interpreter and a good friend of mine, and I didn't think of anybody else to do this pre and post conference with. So, what we're going to be doing is modeling a pre and post conference for you, and the setting that we're in is a college class setting. So, the pre conference looks like this. Hi, Melissa. I'm Alana.
Hi, Alana. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. So I don't know very much about this class. I do know that the teacher has an accent, but I've never worked with the teacher or the student before. Have you?
No, never.
Okay, all right. So I know it's a lecture-based class, so I think maybe it might be a good idea to stand next to the slides. I'm assuming the teacher will be using PowerPoint, so maybe we can just start standing and try switching every 20 minutes if that's okay.
Sounds good.
Great. Yeah, if 20 minutes doesn't work, we can always adjust it either by writing in the dialogue pad or just physically, indicating let's do fewer minutes or whatnot. In terms of switching, when I'm in the off chair, what I'll do is after 20 minutes, I'll usually be writing in the dialogue pad. So I'll put it down on the ground and I'll uncross my legs most likely and I'll lean forward. And that indicates that it's been 20 minutes. I'll wait for you. I don't want to get up and walk, interrupt your process. So as soon as you give me the look and nod, then I'll come up and switch you out if that works for you.
Yeah, sounds good. And I'm the same way. And I'll lean forward and it'll be fairly obvious. But then I'll wait for you to initiate the actual switch. So I'll wait for you to walk off because I don't want to interrupt your process. I don't know where you want to end it, so I want to follow you.
Okay, that sounds great. Absolutely, yeah. And if you're in the middle of a thought and you want to continue going and you feel like you're really on, then I'm totally okay with that. I'll continue to wait for you. When you're ready to switch, I'll be there for you.
Me too. Sounds
Okay,
good.
fantastic. So in terms of feeds, because the teacher has an accent, I might miss what they're saying completely. So I'll look to you for one or two signs for what I missed. Hopefully one of us will catch it. And other things that I generally struggle with are meaning in English. So vocabulary in English that they might throw out, I might not understand what it means. So I would really appreciate if you could just interpret it for me and throw me one or two signs of what you would interpret it as, and I'll take that, and that would be really helpful. I'm a strong speller, so generally expressive English spelling isn't an issue for me. I'm also pretty good with numbers, retaining numbers, so I should be all right with that. But generally that's what I'll need, English to ASL. And also, if I miscue or skew concepts, please correct me by all means. Throw out the correction and I'll try to make a repair if possible. I definitely will not feel insulted if you do that. It's definitely part of the process and the integrity of the message. So do that. And if the deaf person happens to catch you, signing it and they get the full concept from you, I won't re-sign it. I'll just let them take that from you.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like ish-kabish on accents, and so you will definitely see me look like a deer in headlights. If I miss something, and same thing. One or two signs is really how I like to be fed, and if it could be fed with the signs visually and not auditorily, that would rock. And also, in terms of things that I'll definitely be looking at you for, I'm good with lists, remembering the first and the second thing, and I'm good at remembering the last thing, but usually some of those things in the middle of the list get a little bit hazy, so I'll definitely be looking at you. And also numbers sometimes, if they start being stats or all that kind of stuff, you might see the little, and that usually means feed me. But if there are miscues, if there are omissions, if there are whatever, I'm the same way. It's about the integrity of the message. So feel free just to throw it out to me. I have a pretty good peripheral, and so even if I'm not looking at you, you don't have to wait for me to look at you. I'll still be able to take you in, and I'll work it into the message where I can. But even if it doesn't get worked into the message, keep feeding.
Okay.
It by no means that you should stop feeding or that my defenses have gone up. It just means I think that's a detail and that thought in my process. I've decided to save the detail for a later time or whatever because of my process. But keep feeding is fine. And the other part is I recently moved to the area, and so there are city names and certain agencies that already have sign names or people that are famous in the community. I have no background knowledge on them, so that kind of stuff will come up, and I'll definitely look at you for feeds for that as well. And if there's any visual aids going on, like PowerPoints, I will definitely check with the deaf person and see if they prefer to read the PowerPoint or have us sign it. If they prefer to read it themselves, I will do the Vanna White. But if they actually prefer us to sign it as well, if you could just feed me like where they are on the PowerPoint, that would rock.
Perfect. That sounds great. I would really appreciate the same thing. That way, depending on, how we're standing, we don't have to turn all the way around. That would be great, and I'll totally trust you for those feeds. Thank you. Those are great, great helpful tips. We'll try them today and see how they go, and then we can post-conference after. I know also that we'll be doing some voicing in this class. So in terms of that kind of teaming, I really appreciate immediate support. So if the student has some sort of extended comment they want to make, if you could come up next to me, that would be awesome. I have no problems with personal space. So you could be right there next to me. I prefer feeds in my ear, and then I'll incorporate them into the message. Overfeeding is something that tends to be really distracting to me. So what I usually miss is finger spelling. So I'll lean to you for the word, and I might even vocalize what I've missed to you because you'll be standing so close to me that I'll say, what was that word? And I'll just ask you to feed it to me. And let me just warn you that I've been practicing hanging back pretty far when I'm voicing because it helps me get a better idea of where we're going with things. So I'll nod, and I'll nod pretty, vigorously, and that means that I'm good, everything's good. And so please just allow me a minute to, get a full concept, and then I'll start voicing, and I'll definitely lean into you for what I need, and I'll try to vocalize it too, because if we're so far behind, I know it might be difficult to know what I'm looking for. Again, receptively, numbers, I'm okay with. Finger spelling depends on the consumer, and I haven't met this one. So I'll just want the word fed to me. And if I'm completely off of the concept and there needs to be a repair made, again, my preference is that you just feed it to me so I can make the repair. But if it's really egregious and it might be easier for you to just voice over instead of giving it to me, absolutely do that. I will not be offended at all. And when you're finished voicing, just give it back to me and I'll take it from there, and then we can post conference about it afterwards. But in the moment, I'm all about it. So
yeah, same here. Numbers, I'm okay. If finger spelling, it depends on their style of finger spelling, and also same as before, if they start signing a sign name of something that's localized to this particular community, you'll feed it. And the volume, I'll give you feedback on the volume, because if it's too low, I won't hear it.
Okay.
So I might be like, and I'll do the thumbs up, or I might do the what. It just means to raise the volume up. That's what this is indicating. And then in terms of voicing, same. I really like support, and I'm okay with open process. So for me, if whether it's hands up or voice up, I'm okay both ways, where if I miss a concept in some way, shape, or form, for you just to add it on. For voicing, preferably at the end when I'm done, if you could do any repairs at the end, because I might have been like, ooh, and try to work that back in. But if you see that the concept has been lost for any reason, feel free to add it. And same with the hands up. If I miss something, I might go, and that means I'll just I'm waiting for the next concept, and you could take over that concept and put it out, and I'll direct the deaf person's eyes towards you, and then I'll pick up where that left off.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like we share the same philosophy, so I'm happy to open process with you as well. It sounds like that would probably work out really well. Anything else that I might have missed?
not that I could think of. And I'm totally open to, like, while we walk to our cars post-conferencing, I have another job after this, so I might be running. But I have about, like, 5 or 6 minutes afterwards to kind of be like, this was awesome, blah, blah, blah. But next time I see you, if you could just remind me just a brief synopsis of, like, all right, remember whatever your key points are, because I'll forget by next time we team, but once we do it the first and second time, I'll remember long term. So I might just need a little reminder.
Okay, no problem. And I don't know if you're comfortable using a dialogue pad, but that I think will help us too as we're working on going. We just have to make sure to include context, so we remember what to talk about in our post-conference, especially if we can't do the post-conference until next week. So I'll be sure to try to write down when exactly something happened, and what the teacher was talking about, so we can pull that back up into our brains and discuss it.
That sounds great.
Okay, all perfect. Right. So let's go in. Interpret. Okay. And now we will model a post-conference. So, Melissa, I think class seemed to go pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Any changes that we should make for next week?
I thought the volume was great. I could hear you, and that was really cool when you fed me that line. And I really appreciated your feeds. It was that one word that I missed, and so it was really great because you saw me start to, like, my hand started to go. You told me that you don't have any. Thank God, that you told me that there's that you're okay with space, and so that was good. Once I touched you were like, giraffe, and I was like, oh. So that was really great. The feeds were perfect. One word, great volume. I really appreciated it. I felt like you were there. I felt supported.
Yeah, and I really liked when you fed me that one word. What was it? You fed me that word, and you put it on your lips in English for me, and you did the sign. You, like, gave me a sign for it, and that was so helpful because I totally missed it. And so you showed me both in English and in sign what it was, clear as day, and I really appreciate that. Sometimes I really just need some English, sign-supported English to pick up something that I missed, so I really appreciated that. Please keep doing that.
Yeah, vice versa. I know we never touched on it during the pre-conference, so I'm glad we're post-conferencing. But it really worked really well because I do the same thing. Like, I kind of have to get the sign and the this, and I never told you, like, please don't add any markers when you're feeding me. So it was great that you put English there, so thank you, and keep that, and lovely.
Great. Well, we'll do this again next week, and we'll try to pre-conference again before class just to review everything, because I know we both work with several people, so trying to remember people's preferences, but yeah.
And one last thing, I'm doing a new project, and I was hoping that maybe I could kind of work on some stuff while we're working. So if you see, for next time I'll remind you, but if you could write it down the dialogue pad, any places where I'm interpreting a show, and so I'm trying to figure out, like, in a different venue, what could this look like? Like, what are some signs that wouldn't work on stage, or what are, because they're too small, or because of those kind of things. If you see anything like that while we're working, if you could just write them down in the dialogue tag, just so I can start to think about sign choices that I'm doing for this. It's something I'm just working on because I'm trying to think of that venue also. So if you feel comfortable, it's just something I'm working on.
And thank you. I mean, that's a really specific goal, so that helps a lot. I think probably, I'll ask you again next week to really specify what you're looking for so I can, look for those things. And I don't think we struggled so much in class that it will be detrimental to us. So yeah, please remind me, and I'll write it at the top of our dialogue pad next week so I can keep an eye out and start writing down those things.
If it's something that comes up, it's it's just something I'm working on. So, and I look to my teams to kind of have another brain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So I'll see you next week.
Great. Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.